Hi, Leah here. I hope you're having a great afternoon this Tuesday. Um, so I came on today to talk up to you about if we can continue busyness as a virtue and still be successful. So as many of you know, hi Louise. As many of you know, I am a consultant for wellness and success habits, specifically for ambitious women. So I deal with this struggle with women all the time. And the other day, I shared with you a bit about how I got started in wellness and nutrition for myself and for my family, and how that kind of progressed into the business that I run today and supporting other women with that. And I actually started working from home around that same time, about 12 years ago. And I did it with intention. I did not want to send my kids to daycare to be raised by somebody else for 10 hours a day while I sat in a cubicle and in traffic. And that was really important to me. I wanted my kids home with me. I wanted to spend time with them. And that was the reason I started working remotely in the first place. So I went back to school. I got certifications so I could work in the medical field remotely, so I didn't have to be in an office all day. And I did that. And the first several years, honestly, I struggled a lot to balance it all. I felt like I needed to do everything perfectly and do everything by myself. I didn't ask for help. I didn't think it was okay to need help or hire help and or even allow it if somebody offered. You know, I very much felt that for me to be doing what I'm doing, being a full-time mom and working full-time simultaneously, I was supposed to do all the things, and I was supposed to do them perfectly. And there were very many days that I would break down in tears because obviously I couldn't do that. And I didn't realize at the time, like, it's impossible. I thought, you know, that that's how it was supposed to be. And I didn't have a lot of support. You know, the world of online professionals is so different now than it was 12 years ago. So it's amazing that we have these outlets and resources for support online. And I did not have that at the time. And I also didn't have, like, in my local community, a great source of support either. So I really was kind of like fumbling on my own and didn't understand that it didn't need to be that way. And so there were a lot of days where I just felt like I was failing at everything. And there were a lot of days where I wondered if I maybe had chosen the wrong path for my family, the wrong way of doing things. Maybe I wasn't doing the best thing possible for my family. And so a lot of growth and shifts and changes have happened for me since then. And especially over the past 2 years, I've really come to understand and be aware of how the way that I treat myself and the way that I just do things in general influences my kids, it influences my clients, it influences the other people around me. And so now I'm very, very much aware of how culture puts so much pressure on, especially women, just to do it all and be it all and be busy. And we have this focus in our culture of busyness as a virtue. And, you know, it's lazy if we take a break. It's selfish if we take time for ourselves to take care of our own needs too. And I think the part where people get stuck, especially, is thinking that if we take time for ourselves, that it's taking away from everyone else, that we are putting other people last, that we are selfish, or we have something to feel guilty about if we are taking that time for ourselves. And the truth is, it's counterintuitive, I think, just because of the way that our society is and how we're trained. But it's really the opposite. So the more that we pour into ourselves, right, the more we have to give for everyone else. And that's everyone. That's our children, if we have them. That's our partner, if we have one. That is our friends and our family and our clients and our, if you work professionally for a corporation or whatever, even if you're working remotely in that aspect, they expect so much from you, right? And it can be hard to find that balance of, oh, thanks, Louise. I'm on day 3 of my little nutrition cleanse, and I'm feeling really good. Some of you have seen me post about that, but anyways, yeah, so it can be really easy for us to kind of like feel like we can't have both. We can't have success and be present for our families and take time for ourselves. Or maybe, we feel like it's a pick two, right? So like there was this meme I saw a while ago, and it had like these 3 things, and it was like pick 2. And basically like there's no way you can possibly have time or energy for all 3, right? And it was like take care of the house, go to work, and be with your kids or something like that. But you get the gist, right? It's like there's no way that we can do all that, right? And the key is we can do all that. Number one, we need to let go of expecting ourselves to be perfect in all of it, because there's no way. It's impossible. We need to do our best. We need to take care of ourselves so we can show up as our best, right? In every capacity. Like that's the clincher. That's the place where it all comes together, because when we are investing in ourselves, we're taking care of ourselves, we're better able to do all that stuff for everybody else, for everyone else who's depending on us, right? I say this all the time. But so busyness is a virtue for so many, and obviously it's not a virtue that I support or stand behind. I don't believe in it. I know that sounds odd, because you have a choice. You have a choice. You do have a choice. And really, it's funny because today, like, I've been seeing all these things about busyness, and I saw a clip earlier about kids at school with their school lunches, and how they're only allowed to have 15 minutes to eat a day. And I know this is common. My son was in public school 4 years ago, and they had very limited time. He was hungry all the time when he'd come home because they didn't have time to eat at school. And I honestly, truly believe that that is society grooming our children to live this high stress, fast food, paced lifestyle. They do it as kids. It's commonplace. You go into the workplace or the adult world in general, and that's what's expected of you. And we all just take for granted like that's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. I believe that's not how it's supposed to be. And so this way of life, this way of the busier we are, the better we are, the more worthy we are, the more successful we are. I don't agree with that. And it is destroying our health. It is destroying our happiness. It is destroying our productivity. Like you can't even be successful when you live that way, because you can't function at your full capacity. So it's backfiring on people left and right, So, oops, I got a weird, hold on, sorry. I just got a weird little pop-up thingy. Okay. So, yeah, we cannot be productive if we're exhausted, if we're high stress, if we're high adrenaline, if we are our stress hormones are like kicked into turbo. How can we be successful? We're just like running on the hamster wheel, you know? And so I've I've learned this throughout my 12-year journey to living a healthy lifestyle and teaching this to other women and grasping that it can be all the things. It can be taking care of ourselves and being successful and being with our families and being present and feeling joy and having time for things that we like to do, not just all the things that we have to do. So using healthy habits as a way to feel our best and feel good and turn around this popular busyness stigma, I guess, that it is that like we have to be that way. And I really, as I've gone through this process, it's become part of my mission to really help, hi Sue, to really help support and educate women, ambitious women, to embrace this, to understand that we have the power to change the way that our world works, and it all starts with us. And there are so many of us who, you know, own our own businesses, run our own businesses, work as professionals, and influence so many people in our own work, right? And we have the power to turn this around, and this is part of my mission and really what I wanted to share today about how taking breaks and lowering our stress levels and taking care of ourselves can actually empower ourselves and empower the others around us, and not just for ourselves and for the, you know, society right now, but the future generations as well. And I know for myself, I don't want my kids to grow up and think that they need to be go, go, go nonstop all the time. That's not what I want for them. That's not what I want our life to be like. And so I'm very intentional about that. And I love teaching ambitious women tips and hacks and strategies and all different kinds of ways to integrate this in your life and seamlessly and make it just a simple part of your lifestyle. So I'm going to go ahead and post links below, different ways that you can work with me. I have a free Facebook community for women only. It's for ambitious women. It's called Nurtured for Success. I'll post the link for that also. And then a couple of different ways that you can work with me if you're ready to dive in deeper and really get some solid support and turning this busy craziness around and start really feeling good again. So thank you for joining me, everyone who came on live, and those of you who watched the replay. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.